Okay, rolling.
Okay, I would like to do this painting for you in casein using a wide palette of colors to get this effect of the full range of vegetables. So I love this idea of painting parts of my familiar routine, including my wife shopping for vegetables. And I could set up and paint there at the market, but instead I'll show you the photos I'm working from. I want to do first a little thumbnail sketch. This is really tiny on watercolor paper. And the thing about that photo is it's kind of light behind her head. And I'd rather she was light against dark. So let's try that and see if I can improve on the photo a little bit right off the bat. See, I'm trying to group areas. The dark background, the green artichokes, the kind of orangey vegetables. Just going for the really big, simple statement. And I'm trying not to get caught up in the little details. Her white shirt is against that dark background. Blue pants against the light floor. And then purse around her. So now, having done that, I can squeeze out the colors of casein. Cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre, cadmium orange, burnt umber, cad red, ultra blue, cadmium green, and cerulean blue. Now this is a crazy way to start, but I'm just diving in with the brush. You can see I drew those perspective lines radiating from her head. By having the vanishing point behind someone's head, you automatically attract attention to that spot. Her skin tones are really fairly dark because she's mostly in shadow. And that mask and her shirt are a lot lighter, but even still not pure white. Now let's put in that dark background. Fairly thinly still. I'm not using any white, just keeping it transparent. Now a little bit of white. Okay, I take it back. A little blue and a little red. So I'm mixing colors, trying to make composite mixtures of different colors. For me, this is a lot of colors to work with. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with casein, it's a water-based paint. Like gouache, it's mostly opaque, dries to a matte surface, but it once it dries, it doesn't lift up very easily with water if you re-wet it again. In that way, it's similar to a matte acrylic. The only difference is the paint emulsion is not as strong as acrylic is. Casein is the oldest paint known to humankind, and it was very popular before they came up with acrylics. So now I'm noodling around on the face, trying to get that right. Usually this is the stage of a painting where it's fairly frustrating and it doesn't resolve too well. So I try to get the center of interest as right as I can. And then I find if I can do that, the other parts of the picture will fall into place. This is the first time I've painted Jeanette with a mask on. It's kind of different. But it'll be a sign of our times. My strategy here is to finish the face up first and get to the point where I'm fairly happy with that. And then I can go into the background. And the foreground. The artichokes in the foreground is what first appealed to me. I use uneven mixtures on the brush. A darker green on the left side of the brush and lighter green on the right, to get an automatic gradation. Now let me leave those artichokes there for now and focus on the signs, including the orange peppers, right, the one in the background there. I'll start with a O, written with a round synthetic sable brush, orange over a white background, and the idea is I can cut the blue background around that, leaving a little bit of a white margin. Now I want to paint those orange peppers because they're behind the sign. And notice how I've set up my palette there with the yellow in the upper left, the orange in the upper right, yellow ochre or raw sienna in the lower left, and then the red. So I can kind of swing between those different colors as I'm making my mixtures. I need some darks. Now some greens for the tops. So I laid some color down under the entire line where it says artichokes, fairly thinly, and I do the lettering by cutting away the darks. And I don't want it to be too sharp and clear, so I use a paper towel and kind of soften it up and blend it a little bit. Then put the price in, lift that out with a towel. Just clean it up a little bit on the edges, tops of the box edges. And those random colors underneath that I put in the lay-in help me out. And then defining each of the artichokes with their individual leaves or petals. Hi, I wanted to mention to you that if you're enjoying this program, you'll really enjoy my full-length tutorials available on Gumroad. You can stream them or download them. There's ones on flower painting, on color, on animal painting, on fantasy in the wild, and in particular you'll enjoy the one on casein painting, which explores this time-honored medium and various different ways of using it. So check them out, Casein in the Wild and the other tutorials on Gumroad, available at the link right below in the description, so check them out. Back to the program. Now we've got the Sicilian or graffiti eggplant and the Japanese eggplant, and lots of other things in the middle ground. I don't want to get too detailed with those, so I'm just suggesting them by dropping in a variety of tones with the tip of my brush. The basic strategy is to paint a large area first and then subdivide it. And then you see those signs in the background. I look for repeating colors and drop them in transparently with the tip of the brush over a dry, just an off-white background, and then go systematically through the repeating colors, the yellow ochre, then the black, leaving the white areas, and that way I can suggest a lot of detail. So if there's one takeaway from this video, I would say don't think of a complex subject like this as a coloring book or a lot of little shapes to fill in with color, but instead to construct everything with a brush, set up big shapes of color, and subdivide them with smaller and smaller shapes. So that about completes it. I'm about finished up with everything, and it's just a matter of putting in the final highlights and details. The whole thing took about 6 hours. Yeah, it sure doesn't. Okay, thanks for watching. You might want to check out my website or subscribe to my channel. And then here's a playlist with more good stuff and a video that continues the story. So check them out and share with your friends.